Welcome back. This time we're talking about Peter Rabbit, the new CG live-action hybrid adaptation based on the classic works of Beatrix Potter. The film is directed and co-written by Will Gluck, who previously gave us the most recent adaptation of Annie, as well as Easy A and Friends with Benefits, and features the voice of James Corden as Peter Rabbit himself. This version of the story brings our characters into modern day, where Peter Rabbit and his family and fellow animals are treated quite kindly by their neighbor Bee, played by Byrne, but not kindly at all by their other neighbor, Mr. MacGruber, who is the character from the original that was always the antagonist of Peter Rabbit. When Mr. MacGruber dies of a heart attack, however, his property is deeded to his grandnephew, Thomas, played by Domhnall Gleeson, and he arrives in the countryside with one purpose, and that is to get the property ready to sell so he can make some money and pursue his dreams back in London. However, when he meets Bee, his priorities begin to change. But that doesn't change the fact that he's not a fan of wildlife, and he begins a new feud with Peter Rabbit, just like his grand uncle had. And it becomes a competition of sorts between the two over who is going to have control of the gardens where all the vegetables are, as well as Bee's affections. Now, if you saw my review of Paddington 2, I was very flowery with my praise of that film because I honestly think it is a phenomenal movie. And when I saw the trailers for Peter Rabbit, my first thoughts were, wow, this is everything Paddington could be if studios decided to go the easy route and give children everything that they think children want in a film. I went into this film with very negative expectations. So the fact that Peter Rabbit is actually a pretty decent movie came as a surprise to me. I'm not going to say it's a great film. It does have some issues that I'm going to get into. But this was a pretty entertaining, quite fun movie that should have enough to keep both kids and parents entertained over its relatively short runtime. Starting off with the positives, the performances are quite good. Corden is always great doing voice work, and he gives Peter Rabbit a lot of energy, as well as the other voice actors in this film. Byrne is fun. She's not really given a whole lot to work with, but she's good, and Domhnall Gleeson is just willing to pretty much do anything that the writers and director asked him of, and seems to be pretty much game for anything, and it shows, and that's the kind of energy you need in a film like this to pull it off. The special effects are also quite good. They're not flawless, but they do keep up that level of believability that you need to keep this film from looking too cartoonish. The story is pretty predictable. I will say there are some darker elements that I was not expecting, especially at the beginning when we find out the fate of Peter's father. That kind of took me a little by surprise and went, wow, okay, that was a little explicit. Beyond that, it is a little predictable. Once you figure out how this feud between Peter and Thomas is playing out, you can pretty much figure that the story is going to go one of two ways, and it really comes down to Thomas's character, whether he's going to be the unredeemable villain or if he's going to be a character that is somewhat misunderstood and one that we could ultimately forgive his actions against Peter and his family over the course of the film. And I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but I will say that the direction they went, I don't think they pushed Thomas's character far enough to make the ending completely satisfying. That's as far as I'm gonna go. There are other things and more explicit things I'd like to say about the ending because it didn't quite work for me. They didn't nail it like I think they thought they were going to, but I can't really get into that without spoilers. But just know that going in that the resolution of the feud came off a little easy, I guess, maybe, and didn't quite work for me. But overall, I found this film a lot more enjoyable and entertaining than I was expecting. So if you've already seen Paddington 2, I would definitely recommend going to see that one before this one if you're looking for a quality family film to take to go to the movies to go see. Definitely go see that one first. But if you've already seen it and you're looking for something else to take the family to, this is not a horrible option. One other thing I would like to say as far as the concerns I might have is it kind of falls into some of the Home Alone trappings, in that some of the pranks and other things that happen in real life would probably end up with death. It's played for laughs and you can take it for laughs, but there's some real world consequences that would happen if some of these things actually came to pass. So for now, I'm going to turn it over to you. If you've seen Peter Rabbit, what did you think about it? And if you haven't, what's your favorite live-action CG hybrid film? As always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other reviews, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.